All right, let's talk Mayweather Pacquiao one more time. Now, in terms of Mayweather Pacquiao, legendary fight, highly anticipated. But I want to just recall something, bring to your memory this. Remember when people were saying this is what Pacquiao would do Floyd Mayweather? Do you guys remember this? Do you guys remember this? That Manny Pacquiao would be beating Floyd Mayweather like this? This is what everybody was saying. Floyd's running from Pacquiao, so when he gets into the fight that he doesn't want to fight, he's going to get beaten up, beating up a lifetime. Remember that? But yet things turned out more like this, right? Now, when you're dealing with Orthodox versus Southpaw, foot position is everything. As you can see here with these two fighters, their lead feet, in this case Mayweather's foot is slightly on the inside of Pacquiao's foot. It looks like Pacquiao has the positioning here to probably launch an attack on Mayweather. Okay, Mayweather's throwing a jab here. Okay. Now, when we look at it here, you can see that Pacquiao has lead foot position on Floyd Mayweather as he's stepping to the outside of his foot. Once you get on the outside of your opponent's foot, you have lead foot position, and then you can launch an attack where your opponent can't really hit you and you could hit them. Alright, and this is typical of Manny Pacquiao. He's successful at doing that a number of times. Now, how Pacquiao does it is he gets lead foot position and then he pivots off of it to stay on the weak side of his opponent, and then he attacks them weak side before their opponent can pivot as well to nullify that and to kind of face him faceward again. So basically Pacquiao attacks you that sort of way. He can catch you with the right hook over the shoulder. He can also catch you with the straight left when you can't really catch him because he's on your weak side, as we call it. This is typical. Watch Timothy Bradley fight Brandon Rios, Manny Pacquiao fight Brandon Rios, Manny Pacquiao fight Antonio Margarito. All of these fights, the weak side is exploited by the quicker fighter who is actually getting into position to be able to exploit that. Okay. Now, here Mayweather is demonstrating the Orthodox getting lead foot position. If you notice, Floyd's foot is on the outside of Pacquiao's lead foot. In this way, Mayweather cannot really be hit by Pacquiao because he's gotten the foot position on him. You know, Pacquiao can do some crazy angles as well. Of course, it is first led off by a feint. He feints the jab, and then he strikes with his power hand or his right hand. Usually, it's easier to hit a southpaw with your right hand than it is with your jab. You know, Mayweather succeeded at jabbing Pacquiao quite a lot, which is very rare. But guys like Benny Leonard, if you go and watch Lee Wiley's videos, Benny Leonard is a guy who successfully dealt with southpaws using the jab. However, a skillful southpaw like Manny Pacquiao, you wouldn't expect that. Okay. Now here's Mayweather again using the lead position. Again, watch the feet. You'll see Mayweather's foot go to the outside of Pacquiao's foot, and so he's able to again strike Pacquiao without Pacquiao actually responding and hitting him. Now, if we look at Pacquiao, Pacquiao also can do that. So here you notice that Mayweather's foot is on the inside of Pacquiao's foot. Pacquiao has lead foot position. So what happens when Pacquiao has lead foot position? Well, you must remember this. This happened in the 4th round. It's a very memorable time where Pacquiao has lead position on Floyd. They don't show the feet, but he slips by, so he's able to strike Floyd with his straight left. Now he drew Floyd in by causing Floyd to extend with the jab, kind of overextend a bit so he can get back into position in time. And he got lead foot position, and he countered him with a beautiful left counter. It's kind of like a pull counter, except you're not pulling. Okay, unfortunately you can't see the feet of Pacquiao, but if you look here, you can see in this diagram here that Pacquiao has foot position on Mayweather there. Now I show you another example of Pacquiao getting lead foot position. Because he got lead foot position, he's on Mayweather's weak side, so he's able to hit him with a double left hook. He could have even came over the top with a right hook. So we can pivot off the side here and catch Mayweather. See, he's pivoting. And this is a classic Pacquiao move. It's a classical, also orthodox Southpaw versus Orthodox move. You saw that happen a lot with Nicholas Walters versus Lomachenko. Lomachenko going weak side of Nicholas Walters and catching him there. And this is what Roy Jones Jr. was actually suggesting. And also this is what the prospective boxer, the Filipino prospective boxer, was saying in one of my videos before. He was saying this is what Pacquiao needs to do, catch him with a double left hook, because the shoulder roll is open to this once you catch him at an angle like that. And this is what everybody expected the southpaw Manny Pacquiao to be able to do to Floyd Mayweather. Okay. Here's Pacquiao again using that footwork and going to the weak side of Mayweather by getting lead foot positioning. So when he gets lead foot positioning here, he's able to throw his power hand, lead off his power hand, and catch Mayweather with that. This is something he hit Oscar De La Hoya with. I mean, everybody. Brandon Rios, Ricky Hatton. I mean, you name it. He's been able to catch those guys with those shots. Now, that only works if Mayweather stays in position, if he doesn't change his position. However, when Pacquiao tried to pull that move off on Mayweather here, oh no, actually he gets lead foot position here, so you can see that again. But this time Mayweather respects distance, so he gets caught with one shot, I think it was the jab, and the straight left didn't catch him. Or maybe he did. Maybe he caught him with both shots, I don't know. Okay, but again, Pacquiao is getting that lead position on Mayweather. See him get the lead position right there? He leaps in with the lead position right here. Oof. So he's not going to get countered that way. Now, here is an example of Mayweather just doing a slight pivot, and that changes everything. So Pacquiao gets lead position here. Kind of steps on Mayweather's foot, actually. He didn't really get the appropriate angle, but he comes in, tries to get lead position, and Mayweather pivots, and by pivoting, he offsets the angle at which Pacquiao is coming in. So Pacquiao still is facing Mayweather. And the weird thing about Mayweather is, like I said before, his feet are in one plane, his upper body's in another, so he can always pivot. And he can also turn his upper body to face you. So Pacquiao misses Mayweather there, comes off the wrong angle, and Mayweather pivots and counters Pacquiao. And this was happening since round one. In round one, Pacquiao he had lead foot position, he slid in and realized Mayweather's at a different angle that he's accustomed to, so he was a little bit uncomfortable. Usually Pacquiao throws the jab to bait you, and then he'll come with the straight left after. A left hook or overhand left or a straight left, right? In this case, when he threw his jab to come in, he realized his jab was off the mark, and before he could counter Mayweather, Mayweather pivoted and caught him, right? Here's a little bit more. Here's Pacquiao again attempting to come in. He gets lead foot position, slides in, Mayweather pivots and counters him. See, he's actually coming off the wrong angle. So when Mayweather pivots here, just a slight pivot sets up a trap, and he's able to counter Manny Pacquiao. Okay. So Mayweather just pivoting there again, he does a slight pivot. There it is right there. Now, even though Mayweather pivots, notice Pacquiao still catches Mayweather with a kind of overhand left, a kind of left hook. It's still blocked by Mayweather's hand partially, because Mayweather lands his right hook on Pacquiao first, and you see Pacquiao's head kind of just literally, you see his head sort of pow right there, right? You see what happens. But the thing is, Pacquiao does still catch Mayweather. He was trying to go for the chin, actually. He didn't quite get him on the chin because Mayweather's hand was in the way. But the point is, Pacquiao actually caught Mayweather in this case. So, you know, there's a lot of chess moves going on in this fight, which is what makes it so interesting. Now, here's another move that Mayweather utilized when Pacquiao got foot position on him. You see Pacquiao had immense foot position. Mayweather moves in to Pacquiao, changing the distance, and also rolls under the punch at the same time. And notice he uses his guard to find out where Pacquiao is, and even push him off a bit. Okay, it's brilliant. And you see Pacquiao really lining up for that straight left. So he gets the lead position. He's trying to throw that straight left. But unlike the other time where he caught Mayweather, Mayweather basically rolls under the punch and pivots to find Pacquiao again. So Pacquiao couldn't go weak side. What Mayweather did to make that work was he doubled up the jab and he moved in on Pacquiao, slid in, and then went under. Watch it. It's brilliant. Okay, So there are other ways to these guys learn to nullify one another and to take away that advantage of lead foot position. Here again is Pacquiao getting lead foot position. He's supposed to be on the weak side, but again, because of remote footwork, Mayweather looks like it's weak side. But if you look, Mayweather's actually facing Pacquiao with his shoulder, which is crazy. And that's because, again, his body is in one plane and his feet are in another. And that's why, you know, even though Pacquiao's throwing all those punches, he's really facing a shoulder. And Mayweather's far away from him, like I said before. There's just a lot to that thing to unpack, why that defense is just so difficult to really catch Mayweather. You can't catch him on his body. You can't catch him nowhere because he's facing you. See, Mayweather's facing Pacquiao there. And it's so weird because his feet are in another plane. But his body, he can twist the body to fit the feet, or he can twist the body in a plane that's different to the feet. So that's why Mayweather's still watching Pacquiao all that way. Pacquiao can't get to the side of him, you understand, to hit that double left hook to the side of the shoulder roll. You understand what I'm saying? And in this case, he was rolling under and above. It's so weird. He's close to Pacquiao and he's away from him. It's really weird to explain because of the angle at which it is. Now here's the final thing, and again it has to do with pivots. You see Pacquiao coming in. He does get lead foot position, but by the time he gets lead position, Mayweather's also pivoting, and so as a result of that, Mayweather closes off that angle. Pacquiao's going to get Mayweather's back, so he can't really land a shot there, and Mayweather check hooks him as he's rolling out. It's basically he rolls against Pacquiao's so Pacquiao can't find weak side. It's really hard to explain. So basically it's a game of, can I get to this guy's weak side and catch him, all right, or set a trap for him so that I can offset him, and he thinks he's going weak side, but really I've set a trap where he actually won't be able, I'll be able to hit him, he won't be able to hit me. So that's basically what Mayweather did. And why people think Pacquiao was rushing straight in a number of times is because Floyd kept on pivoting and changing up the angle of approach. Pacquiao wanted to get lead foot position, slide in there, and then pivot and go weak side on Mayweather. And that only happened a few times in the fight. That's what Roy Jones Jr. was trying to say. You have to go to his left. The problem with Mayweather is when you're trying to go to Mayweather's left, he's going to close off that angle by doing one of two things. He'll either pivot into position away from you, okay? Pivot away from you. That is, he's going to, if you're circling anti-clockwise, he's going to circle anti-clockwise and then catch you on that angle. Or he's going to pivot into you, close that distance like he's doing here. He's going to pivot into you, which closes off the angle. You can't hit him in the back of the head, and you can't hit him on his back. So he closes off the angle. And then he also check hooks you while he's doing that. So there's a number of different ways Mayweather, or he can just have his feet in one plane. You think by you getting past his lead foot, you're really into position. When you're out of position by doing that, and he just pivots into position and strikes you. So there's many different, you see, Pernell Whitaker did that kind of thing, and it's tricky because it's a trap, and you don't realize it's a trap until you get popped. So there's all those factors. I try to explain to people boxing is a very interesting thing. And there's reasons why Pacquiao he had no chance of beating Mayweather, because Mayweather's defense was just so hang on, and as a result he would counter Pacquiao without Pacquiao being able to counter him. And that was what was going on the entire fight. It's not just that he used the shoulder roll, okay, people? So I try to explain to people. If it was just the shoulder roll story, then Mayweather probably would have gotten knocked out. Mayweather does a lot more things than just use a shoulder roll. It's a tool. Okay, it's a tool and it's part of his defense and offense, but it's not everything. In fact, it's not the core of what makes Floyd Mayweather Floyd Mayweather. He can fight. He fought Zab Judah without using the shoulder roll. He fought Marcos Maidana, very limited use of the shoulder roll. He did use the shell, but for the most part, he used a high guard. He used many other things. So I'm just saying, you got to understand what a boxer is doing, so that people's expectations for this fight were this, and they were this. When it didn't happen, when it didn't fit that narrative, and it ended up looking something like this, Okay, then folks began to say, "Oh, it was a boring fight," blah blah blah. You listen to the people on fight night. Roy Jones Jr. said it was a good fight. Keith Thurman said it was a beautiful fight. It was a great fight. The people who were there that night talked about how great Mayweather was. Mike Tyson said, "Ain't nobody can beat Mayweather. He put on a fantastic performance." And my point is this: he beat the best there was of this era. Okay, hands down. All the other guys that people say, "Oh, Mayweather didn't fight this guy or that guy," we all know that not only did those guys get beaten bad, but also the guys that beat them, Mayweather faced those guys and beat those guys because Mayweather faced the best.